the mics are live.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call the Morgan County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for December 22nd, 2025 to order. We do have a quorum this evening. However, we do have one board member, Susan, who's not with us this evening. Mr. Rumball, would you mind leading us all in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rumball. Mr. Peden, would you mind swearing in our participant this evening? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Peden, sorry. Little out of order here, the minutes from our last meeting, we received a copy of that in advance of the meeting. Were there any changes, corrections, additions, deletions that need to be made to the minutes?
Looks good to me.
Open for a motion to approve the minutes.
Approve it.
I approve it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion to approve and second. All in favor, please raise your hand. Say aye. Aye. And the agenda, we received a copy of the agenda in advance to the meeting. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening? Nope. If not, open for a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as sent.
Thank you. Second to
I'll
that.
second that.
Thank you. Motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The agenda is also approved. Let's see here. We've sworn in our participants. We have no old business this evening. We have one item under new business. That is public hearing for Development Standard Petition D-25-20. Nathan Ralph is requesting a development standard variance for construction of an accessory pole barn with a reduced side yard setback of 4 feet. The property is located at 787 West Bunker Hill Road in Monroe Township and is zoned for ag. For this application this evening, I have Mr. Ralph signed up and no one else. Mr. Ralph, if you could come up to the microphone, please, and tell the board, first of all, your name and your address, and then why you're requesting this and why we should approve it.
Sure. My name is Nathan Ralph. My address is 787 West Bunker Hill Road, right at Bunker Hill in Gasburg and Mooresville. Ideally, I'd like to build a pole barn on my property there to be used both as a pole barn to store various household stuff and my yard implements and stuff, as well as a garage. So as far as the location, the other side of my property is where the septic system is. It wouldn't work particularly well. Obviously, if I put it in the front yard, it's going to be an eyesore and also way too close to the road. Given where my house is, on the other side, setting it back further than where it is, I actually have a well. There's a concrete pad that inside of which is a well, and then beyond that is the backyard. Where it's at, to put it where I would ideally like to have it, would be right close to the property line, as you said, about 4 feet from the property line there. It's the most logical place for it. If I put it, I could, the only other spot to place it on the property would be the just directly in the center of the backyard, and it's relatively unlevel, the rest of that yard also.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to tell the board?
I don't know that I have a whole lot to add. No, the one neighbor that it borders is Richard McClure. He asked me if I would like him to be out here tonight in support of me, but I told him that he's got bigger fish to fry right now. His wife is having some health problems and stuff, and I said, you don't need to come out here just for me. I don't know that I have any neighbors that have any issues with it. Pretty good relationships with all my neighbors out there.
Okay.
How close is this neighbor to you?
Richard?
Yeah.
So the barn where I'm at would be 4 feet from his property line. His house is actually set back, I don't even know, 100 yards back into the woods. So the property that I'm bordering is an open field.
So as we're looking at the aerial map here, and I tell you what, if you want to come up, maybe come up here in front of Bill so everybody can kind of see what you're pointing at here. But I've got the third of 3 photographs pulled up, gentlemen. We've got a blue outline. I'm assuming that's your property here.
Yes, sir.
And then we have, it looks like a house maybe right up here close to Bunker Hill Road.
That's correct.
Is that his house?
This is not his house. So this is the neighbor, the next neighbor over. Richard's house is right here, tucked way back. Like I said, that may be more than 100 yards back up in there. Okay. He owns this entire piece of property here.
All right.
So the closest house to me is these folks here, and that stretch of, honestly, I don't know how long that is. That's a few hundred feet of field there, and then there's a few hundred feet of field behind me as well.
So where are you gonna put an X where you're gonna do the,
I think it shows on the first, maybe, Bill, the first of the drawing.
where are you gonna put the,
It would be right here next to my house. So taken some of so with this property, this line actually isn't very accurate. I got the actual property lines marked, they're staked in the ground right now. So it actually comes a little bit closer to these trees here. But it's taken up most of my driveway here, right here next to my house. And then this field is this open field that you were able to see on that first one.
Right there it is. Property line's actually over here.
Yeah, that's about
that's
it.
more accurate, that's more accurate than what I'm looking at.
Yeah, this comes from GIS, and their digital property line isn't very good. I went out and found the actual stakes to get a more accurate representation, because I don't really want to trust GIS's interpretation of it.
Are you gonna build this barn yourself?
I might have you step back to the podium if you would, please. Thank you.
I have contracted Graber Post Buildings to build it. They've sent, what do you call them, agriculture, or not, the architectural drawings and that sort of thing for the barn.
How close are the neighbors' trees to where you're going to build your pole barn on that closest side?
On that closest side, he doesn't have any trees, so it's hard to see in that picture. His trees would be back off the roadway, probably another 20 feet from where the barn is.
Are those your trees then that border the side of that, or?
The trees that border the side are his, and they are, I think I measured it at 22 inches inside his property line, something like that.
Okay, so your neighbor has trees that are right next to your pole barn, correct? That you're going
Set
to
back
build?
from the pole barn. There aren't any right next to the pole barn,
Okay.
except one little sapling right
All
now.
right, so if a tree fell because you're encroaching closer than you should, is it going to hit your barn?
His trees would not.
Okay.
I have one tree behind my barn that theoretically could, but it's, this big around. I don't see it falling anytime soon.
Okay, all right. All right, you're not doing any kind of commercial business in this garage? This is just
No.
a place for you to store your stuff, get away from your wife?
Store my stuff and work on my own cars. I have a gravel driveway right now, which is not ideal for working on my cars. So.
Okay.
Get away from the wife. I don't know if I would admit that in open forum. I love my wife.
Yeah, some of us done that. Yeah, okay. Gentlemen, any other questions for the applicant?
I have none.
Gordon, any questions for the applicant? No? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so we have in front of us a request for a development standard variance. In order for the board to grant this or approve this, we have to agree that the applicant meets 3 findings of facts. Under his description, the applicant has written, "I'd like to build a pole barn for general use as a garage, storing vehicles, tools, and lawn care items. It would be used for maintaining my personal vehicles and store property maintenance items, as well as general household storage. I would also keep my vehicles out of the weather inside the barn." Under Section 2, the statement is made that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The applicant indicates that's a true statement. And to support that, has written This is a simple pole barn and should have no adverse effect on the general welfare of the community at all. I would be able to store my equipment inside, which would be generally safer for the community. Under section 2.2, the statement is made that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The applicant indicates that's a true statement. To support that, he has written the use and value of adjacent property should remain unchanged and certainly not negatively affected. There is an adjacent home with a pole barn style already. Many properties in the area have existing pole barns. In fact, the barn would be beneficial as items currently sitting outside would be stored inside the barn. And last, under 2.3, the statement is made that the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The applicant indicates that's a true statement. To support that, says, I am unable to place the barn further back due to an existing well. The other side of the yard is very unlevel and has a septic finger system. It would also be used as a garage for our vehicles, so the side yard where I have proposed to build it makes the most sense for our use case and is aesthetically the best placement for both us and the neighboring properties. Our side yard on the proposed side also has easy access to a side entry door to our home. For the technical reports, the health department states that they have no objections to the proposed development standard variance. The county surveyor makes no comment, and staff on this application agrees that the applicant meets the findings of facts and as such supports the petitioner's request to reduce the side yard setback to 4 feet. So, gentlemen, discussion on this application?
I think there wouldn't be any problem with me on this. I think the neighbor's tree line there and stuff, it's gonna look like it belongs there. I don't think the 4 foot's gonna be noticeable to anybody.
Any other discussion, gentlemen?
Oh.
No, I agree with Mr. Maxwell. I think the applicant meets the findings of facts. I don't think it would be something that would be a detriment to the area. And would support this if a motion is made as such. So, no more discussion. We'll open for a motion on this application.
I'll move that we approve petition D-25-20 with all findings of fact being found true with the reasons stated by the petitioner and the reasons stated in the staff report.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second to that motion? Mr. Crone seconds. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. It is approved. Thank you very much for coming out and presenting to us this evening. All right, next on our agenda is staff reports. Mr. Peden, do we have a BZA attorney report this evening? No report, thank you. Ms. Parker, do we have a plan director's report this evening?
Just wanted to let you know we definitely have several items already filed for the January meeting, so look forward to seeing you all there. And I wanted to just thank you again for another year of service. I can't believe 25 has flown by, so thank you all. And Merry Christmas.
Oh, and thank you for your support for us. It makes, I certainly feel it makes it easier for us to get good, great feedback from you and good research on all these. So just a reminder, we have one application that we carried over for 60 days. It's going to be on the, should be on the agenda for next month. I'm going to be recusing myself. That's my former employer. I just retired Wednesday last week for the second time, so kind of retired. I may still do some things, but anyway, I'm going to recuse myself from that that application. And then also a reminder, we should have election for the chair, vice chair, and secretary next month as well. So if any of you are interested in serving in one of those positions, please let us know at the next meeting. If I'm fine to not be chair, and I'm fine to be, however you guys would like to do that. So, barring anything else, is there anything else that we need to discuss? Then we'll open for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second to that? Mr. Crone seconds. All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned.
You're no longer a boatman?
I